I'm Tracy Nazaro with Traders Hill Farm in Hilliard, Florida, and we are a sustainable aquaponics agribusiness that grows leafy greens year-round. It is our goal to provide healthy food to our regional population. Healthy people, healthy planet.
Welcome to this episode of Katy on the Farm. We're on the banks of the St. Mary's River outside Hilliard, Florida at Traders Hill Farm to learn all about aquaponics. I'm so excited to go on this adventure with you. Come on. Welcome to this episode of Katy on the Farm. We're at Traders Hill in Hilliard, Florida, near the St. Mary's River, and I'm already fascinated by this place. Tracy Nazaro, thank you for having us out. What are we going to see today?
Well, Katy, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Traders Hill. We're glad that you're here. So today, we're so excited to show you our aquaponics farm. We grow leafy greens, about 500,000 pounds of leafy greens annually, and we service our Southeast regional market.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait. All right, let's go. Tracy, all this lettuce is making me hungry. I'm so excited to learn about this place. How long have you been here?
So I've been here since the fall of 2015. The actual property was purchased by Richard and Dolores Blotto in 2012. Their goal was to retire to a farm in Florida. And then their grandson and a friend had come up with an idea to repurpose one of our old buildings and put an aquaponics system in there. Mm-hmm. And they did it, and it worked really well. Mm-hmm. But for food safety, that old wooden structure wouldn't be ideal for commercial production. So then in 2015, we built a small commercial structure. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years later, we built one 4 times the size.
Wow, it's really impressive. So can you explain just basically what's aquaponics?
So aquaponics is the marriage between aquaculture, which is raising fish indoors, and hydroponics, which is raising plants in water. So they are linked together via a RAS, a recirculating aquaculture system. So in a nutshell, fish are fed a high quality diet that waste is high in ammonia. Ammonia goes through a conversion process, converts from ammonia to nitrite to nitrate, which is a usable form of nitrogen for the plants. Water flows through all the plants, further filtering the water, back to the fish, starts all over again.
A great circle there, a nice closed loop.
It's a nice closed loop ecosystem.
Oh, that's fascinating. I would love to see some of this. Can you show us around?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, thanks. Tracy, now that I'm hungry, explain where we are.
So this is our hydroponic portion of our aquaponics process. So water in these grow beds has come from the fish tanks through the water treatment process. So now the water's been converted to a water that's a nutrient water high in nitrates. Water comes through from the north side, flows north to south.
Okay.
All these plants filter that water, and then it goes back up to our fish tank. In this building, this is mostly green romaine lettuce. So green romaine is our flagship product. Most green romaine in the United States, 98% is grown on the West Coast, either Yuma, Arizona, or Salinas, California. So for our customers, this is a real treat for them to have locally grown produce. We have a 300-mile point-to-point radius, so the food miles are very slim compared to coming from the West Coast, where it can be up to 3,000 miles.
Wow, that's an enormous difference. I'm so glad, and it looks beautiful. So is there a significant difference as it's being filtered this direction, is this less nutrient dense for the plants than it is when it's first entering on the north side?
You would think so, but it's not. And we actually have a pretty rigorous testing process. So we test our nutrients daily to make sure that the nutrient load is right for our plants.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it looks like they're doing well. How do you know what seeds to use out here? Are there special seeds, or are these the same kind that we would buy for our home gardens?
So we use seeds that we have found do very well in our system. And we have an R&D process that we keep going all year long to test different varieties of seeds. We have a few favorites. Some seeds do better in the summer and some do better in the winter. And we're always looking for new varieties. So we work very closely with multiple seed companies to continue our testing, as well as the University of Florida, very specifically to look for cultivars that are good in the heat-tolerant cultivars.
Of course, lettuce and heat, right? It
Yes.
bolts very easily. Does it bolt in here like it would in the ground?
It will. So wintertime, not as much of a problem. In the summertime, we keep a pretty careful eye on those plants to catch them before they start to bolt.
Okay. And how long does it typically take to go from seeding out one of these trays to harvesting it?
So we have a seed room. We'll show you our indoor light room. So they spend about anywhere between 7 to 14 days in our light room. And then when they come into the grow bed, it's about 30 days.
And so they're transplanted into these grow beds?
Yes.
I see. All right. Well, this is so exciting. Let's go take a look at something else. Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me. Tracy, these are the tilapia. This is a point in the cycle where we're getting the nutrient-rich water. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember fishing for tilapia. Can you tell me about this fish?
So tilapia are not native to the United States. They're actually from the Nile. So we have an aquaculture license. So we're monitored by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services for our fish license. So to have live fish, we can only sell live fish to another company that would have a license.
Okay.
When we do sell fish, we don't harvest year round. It comes in spurts. So we harvest it over the summer. When we harvest our fish, we're very careful about selecting the largest fish that are market size. And then they go through a process before we put them to market. They go into a saltwater bath for a week, and that's great for them it calms their nervous system. We don't feed them, so they have a clean gut. And then on harvest day, they get packed in ice, and that's the best way and most humane way to expire the fish. So they go out whole on ice to our wholesalers, and then they further process them.
Oh, that's wonderful. We know if we're going to eat animals, we want them to be as low stress as possible at that point of expiration. Wonderful. So that maintains a lot of the nutritive qualities of the fish. Well, they're very pretty. I noticed you've got you've got like a very dark, almost black, and these are pale.
Yes, so we have three different types of tilapia. We have a blue, a white, and a hybrid.
Okay.
So.
All right. Is there any notable difference between them besides appearance?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Okay. Well, they're very neat. How long will they live here?
About 2 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
About 2 years, yeah. After about 2 years, they become seniors, and then it's time for them to move on to a dinner plate.
I see.
They do really well. We chose tilapia because they do really well in close quarters. Mm-hmm. They do very well in temperature fluctuations. Mm-hmm. Although when it does get cold, we will turn on heaters for them because we don't want them to get stressed. When they stress, they stop eating. When they stop eating,
right.
So.
Well, I stress out when I'm cold too. Yeah. So, well, I see the water is really pretty and clear and lovely, and they're all very active.
Yeah, we take very good care of our fish. We have an aquaculture tech on staff who's in charge of fish health, and then we have an aquaculture hygiene manager who's in charge of cleanliness for all our tanks.
Oh, very nice. Well, I don't know that I've done this well with a tropical fish tank in my house, so well done. Thank you for showing us this. All right, Tracy, we're either about to have a party or there's something interesting happening here.
Yes, so we have an R&D program that's going on every day of the year, and these new lights are part of our R&D program. So these are new lights that are created by GE, and our goal with these lights are several things. One is, do we get increased germination rate? Is there a way that the plants maybe are shorter and heavier? Will it turn our red romaine more red? We don't know yet, so that's why we're demoing these lights. We're very happy with the white lights that we have, but we're always looking for new and better ways to improve everything. These guys are a lot more expensive, so that's why we're going to test them first.
I understand. That is really neat. I haven't been exposed to this before. What other kinds of tests do you guys run?
So we do a lot of testing with cultivars, and I can show you those outside.
Okay, wonderful. Let's go.
So Katie, this is one of our R&D sites. So we're looking to launch basil. This would be live basil that goes into the retail market. So this grow method, different from our large pools, which is deep water culture. This is called NFT, nutrient film technique. So there's a very thin layer of nutrient water that flows under here all the time, and it just recirculates back. And so this is the basil that we saw inside, very similar, growing in that peat pod. And so once this gets to be about yay big, then we'll put it out and put it in packaging and send it over to retail.
And that means you could get it at your grocery store.
You get it at your grocery store.
Oh, that's really neat. And you can see all the roots coming out of these peat pots. So this is a very efficient use of your water.
It is.
I like that.
It is.
I like that. So just like in soil that would be in the ground, you're seeing the absorption and retention of all of that so that your rhizosphere has access to those nutrients. Well, that's fascinating. Did you guys custom build this experiment?
So we did, but there's lots of other farms that are using a very similar method of growing. We have a maintenance staff here. We have a maintenance staff of 2 young men who are very gracious to create all these experiment stations for us.
It sounds like it'd be a fun job for some people.
It's very dynamic.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great word, Tracy. Very dynamic when your boss asks you to create something new. Oh, I like that a lot. The basil smells beautiful. I can't wait to see it in stores.
You want to see some of our romaine experiments as well?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go. Tracy, what are we looking at here?
So this whole row here, this is all part of our R&D program. So as I mentioned, we keep an R&D program going 365 days a year. This is very specifically looking at variety types.
Okay.
So we work with University of Florida, and then we also work with several seed companies. And what we're looking for is, do we get a germination rate? Must be over 95% germination. How long does it take to grow in here? We try and keep it at that 30 days. Does it have the aesthetic? Our chefs are very picky, and they want the lettuce to have a really beautiful aesthetic to it. It has to taste really good. If it doesn't taste good, we just kick it out anyway. And then a core. So if it's a romaine, we need a really short core. Okay. So we're looking at all of these things, and then the time of year. So we're coming into fall in Florida. So now we're getting into our prime growing season. But in the summertime, we're also looking for heat tolerant cultivars, and that's the University of Florida is very specifically looking at heat tolerant cultivars for both ground farming and for the hydroponics growing operation.
That makes perfect sense, and I'm really fascinated by this. There's a noticeable difference between that butterhead and this is particularly beautiful. Is that just age?
It's just the part of its life cycle. So butter, this is a broadleaf butter, and it tends to look rather comical as it's growing. It has a very awkward adolescence, and you just have to wait and about 2 to 3 days before it's ready to harvest. It'll mature into beautiful green rosette, and that's when we know it's ready.
I see, and I love those. That was one of my favorite varieties. And I have to commend you. I've never heard awkward adolescence used about lettuce before. That's a great phrase for your lettuce. When you don't like the way it looks and it's not grown up, just say it's having an awkward adolescence. Yes, very good. Well, this is fascinating. So you guys get to consider taste and breed for taste and grow for taste. And when we've got a really long supply chain, with the lettuce that's coming from California or thousands of miles, they have to take into account more the shippability, right?
They do.
right?
They do. Their primary concerns are shipping. You know, will it survive the distance, and the shelf life on it. And we do have the luxury of growing for taste. Most times out of the year, our pricing for our customers is we have a flat rate pricing, which we keep all year round. We don't track with the commodities market. So at times of the year, they are paying a premium for our lettuce. So it has to live up to that premium.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I believe it does. So that's a benefit of local supply chains and local food, is that you can select things that had taste taken into account more than shelf life and shippability and the ability to sit very deep on a truck and survive the trip, right? So, right, well, I'm really interested. I'm so glad you guys are doing this work and we can all benefit from it. Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me. I'm here with Kathy Curry, the operations manager at Traders Hill. And Kathy, what do we see here?
So this is our harvest operation here at Traders Hill Farm. We harvest on average about 20,000 plants a week out of these 2 beds that we're at. Our team, which consists of Sheena, Macy, and Kat, are harvesting one of our products. This is our Ruby Sky.
Ruby Sky, and this is a variety of romaine?
It's a bib lettuce, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's one of our specialty items that we put in our gourmet chef box. So for some of our customers request a specially packed box, and so this is one of the products that we put in that box for them.
Okay, it'll go out in these boxes. Is everything that ships out going out in this size?
So this particular product will move from the production floor into our pack house, and you'll have an opportunity to go into that area. And in that area, that is where we make all of our custom products, such as our spring mix clamshells, our chef boxes, and some of our other custom made boxes. The product that we box on the floor is typically our bulk 12-pound green romaine and our bulk 4-pound red. The rest of our products are sent into the pack house for further processing.
I see. So the packing house is separate, and clamshells that you mentioned, that's what we all recognize from the grocery store, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Clamshells are what you're going to buy in at your store. But this is fascinating. Let's see how the girls do this. And you said 20,000 plants are going out?
Typically on a normal harvest day of the larger beds in 2016, we'll have about 20,000 cuts per harvest.
Wow, that's a lot of lettuce.
It's a lot of lettuce. And we start at 4 a.m. So we start at 4, and we're typically done with the 20,000 head cut by 6 a.m. So it's a little later in the day than normal for us to be harvesting, but it's a cool day, so we're still able to get the product out.
And about how long from cut until we purchase it?
Typically, the product can be off the floor and in our customers' hands between 1 and 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the distributor of their choice. So we have multiple distributors that we send our product through, and their pickup days vary.
Wow, 1 to 3 days, so that's some really fresh lettuce.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, she can just pull it right up. Look at those roots.
So part of our food safety plan here at Traders Hill Farm is that the individual who actually comes in contact with the water is not allowed to come in contact with the produce. So our protocol is we have one individual who manages removing the flat from the water, placing it on the sanitized table, and then we have our harvesters and our inspectors here, and then the individual who actually pulls the product also can grab the the tote or the flat and move it away from the harvesting station. So your harvesters do not come in contact with the flat, only the produce.
I see. I'm fascinated by being able to see the entire root system. That's really neat. It's easily as big as the above surface
Yes.
plant. It's beautiful.
Beautiful long white roots. That's what we look for in a healthy plant. And so we do our inspection right here on the floor for the product. As you can see, she's inspecting the leaves. It'll do a handoff typically for further inspection, grooming, and then it's placed in the box. We also do a secondary prior to shipment inspection. So all boxes before they get loaded on the truck, we'll do a 10% audit internally, looking for anything that might make the product unacceptable to ship.
And that's it. That's a full box. Thank you for sharing this with us. Thanks,
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Tracy, most of us get our information about the food that we're buying from the label. Could you explain the certifications that are on yours?
Absolutely. So the first is our SQF logo and our certification with our certification number. So as we talked about earlier, we do take food safety very seriously. And so this is on our packaging to certify that we do follow our food safety protocols as well as quality protocols. And then Fresh from Florida. Fresh from Florida is part of the FDACS, Florida Department of Consumer and Agricultural Services. They are a marketing agency. They're a great partner of ours. They help us market our products to both food service as well as retail. So this spring mix is a retail product. We sell mostly to food service, but spring mix is very popular. So you can find it in Harris Teeter, Lucky's Market, and some local Nassau retailers. And then this product is called our Chef Blend. This is sold in a 4-pound box. It's hand-picked with love here in our pack house.
Beautiful.
And so it has a trio of lettuces. It has the red romaine, the ruby sky red leaf, and the green romaine.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. I know we're all trying to pay more attention to what we see on our labels and to know when things are coming locally to us. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.
So, Tracy, this is your microgreen room. Can you introduce us to microgreens? I don't know that we're all familiar.
So we're really excited to add microgreens to our roster of leafy greens. So microgreens are, in effect, just baby plants.
Okay.
So they're super young plants. This is radish. This is a new variety launched 2 weeks ago called Ragin' Radish.
Beautiful.
So microgreens have traditionally been used mostly as a garnish because they have a pretty aesthetic. They're a nice look to them, but they have a great taste, a really, really strong taste. You must taste some of our radish.
All right, I'm excited. Oh, that is really good.
So we have, so far in our lineup, we have the Ragin' Radish, Purple Kohlrabi, which is this variety right here. And then we're launching Sassy Scarlet, which is a mustard. So that one will launch next month. And then we're also working on a sweet basil. I was actually at a restaurant in Miami recently, and on their caprese salad, instead of using full basil, they used microgreen basil. So I was pretty excited to see that.
I love that idea, and the flavor is really intense. It's all the flavor that you would expect from the full-sized fruit, right?
Yes, and chefs love it because they can have this flavor punch without maybe over seasoning it with some very salty seasoning. So it pairs, especially the mustard, will pair very well with seafood.
I see, and this is very nutrient dense at this stage, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So, and then our grow method here is that nutrient film technique, very similar to the way we're growing basil, and it grows on this fabric. It's called polyroot. So the seeds sow right in here, and they take root, and our nutrient film water flows through here and recirculates.
Oh, wow.
Love these. They grow really quickly. Ragin' Radish grows in about 5 days. The Crazy Kohlrabi grows in about 10 days, and Sassy Scarlet between 7 to 12 days.
That is a really short time from initiation to harvest.
It is.
I love it. And is there a specific size it has to be harvested at, or could someone who is experimenting with this at home really do it anywhere?
So there's a range. The smaller it is would be a microgreen. If it gets a little bigger, they call it a petite, and there's a market for both.
Oh, fascinating. This is really beautiful. Did you guys also build this system?
We did. Yeah.
Wow, I'm fascinated by your staff. You have the neatest staff.
Yeah, they're quite handy. Some of these parts did come from hydroponic growing store, and then we coupled them together, and we love this system because it's expandable. So as our market grows, we can just keep adding racks.
Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me.
At Douglas Metal and Steel Manufacturing, we only use top quality steel and roofing. And with our on-staff custom designer, we can customize your building to best suit your needs. From large commercial, agriculture, or just a place to store your stuff. And it comes with a written 40-year warranty that we'll put in your hand. It's not just quality we stand behind, but we stand on. Call today for a free quote. Douglas Metal and Steel Manufacturing. We are steel number one.
So Kathy, I love this room. It's really beautiful. Can you tell us what's happening here?
So this is our planting operation. So we do our harvesting operations first thing in the morning. The weather is more conducive before the sun comes up and it gets too hot. After we finish that process, typically lunch, and then our team starts the planting operation. So for all of those 20,000 plants or 25,000 plants that we pull out, we have to come back and put them all back in. We like to get them out and back in the same day. So the team here is planting a product that we discussed earlier, which is our spring mix product. We put 50 plants on a flat, roughly 2,500 plants per row, and 10,000 plants in these four rows that you see here in the shot.
Wow. That's a lot, and they're so quick. They would have to be.
They're very fast.
Yeah, and you can see on these flats, you can see how the plugs are absorbing the water and allowing the roots to go through. You can see underneath. This is a really great microcosm of what happens here. What are all these beautiful varieties?
So the varieties that you see here in front of you, over here we have our spring mix product. This is our red romaine, which is a beautiful, vibrant color of a red romaine product. Over on the other side of the greenhouse, you'll see that's the ruby sky that we were harvesting earlier in the other greenhouse. So this is considered our specialty barn, where we grow a lot of our specialty items for our customers.
This is one of the most aesthetically pleasant barns I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It really is. So Tracy, you're 4 years into your tenure here. Have you always worked in agriculture?
Actually, I have not. This is new for me. I come from a banking background. I actually come from investment banking and then commercial banking, and most recently working at the Coggin College of Business at University of North Florida as a consultant. So I joined Traders Hill Farm in a financial role. As the company was looking to expand, it was time to formalize the operation. So I joined in a financial role and have evolved into the position I'm in now.
All right. So what draws you to food and agriculture?
I love being part of the produce industry. I think it's really exciting to be part of an industry that's growing healthy food. We all get really excited about delivering clean, healthy food to our local population.
That's wonderful. And it seems like the entire staff is really passionate here about what they're doing and really on top of things. I know there's a lot of compliance in this world, right?
There is. And there needs to be. We take it very seriously that we are selling food to the public. So we have a very rigorous food safety protocol plan. We're certified through Safe Quality Food. We have rigorous food safety protocols as well as a third-party audit every year. So that's why when you go into our greenhouses, we have to dip our feet in the foot bath, hair nets, gloves, sleeves, aprons, especially when you're harvesting. Yeah, so we do. And everyone lives it. That's our number one core value is live safety.
That's wonderful. We're so glad you're doing it. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Thank you for showing us around today, Tracy.
Thank you for coming. I enjoyed it.
Thanks. What a great day at Traders Hill Farm in Hilliard, Florida. I've learned so much, and I hope you've enjoyed the tour of this aquaponics facility and meeting the wonderful people that have brought this plan to life.